on the humor side of this.
Mm-hmm.
Can I now identify as a church and be exempt from taxes?
First off, welcome to the During Business Hours podcast. Christopher, lovely wife Leslie, willing to sit down with you and explain our feelings on what's going on with Donald Trump and Elon Musk, who we, up until a few weeks ago, supported both equally.
Thought they were besties.
Yeah, I thought they were besties. I was like,
no, now we just got a couple of billionaires with their caps lock stuck.
Elon's, I have to preface this, I'm on Elon's side. It is sad. I've been pissed off at Trump lately. I'm going to get some hate online. Donald Trump's letting me down. He's removing veteran holidays. He's pissing off people. And now all of a sudden he's like,
remove the veteran holiday.
Oh, he's talking about removing Veterans Day for World War II Day and, appreciation days and things like that. And that pissed me off. And I was like, when are you going to remove the only day a year I get?
Right. You already took the month.
Yeah, you took the month. We now have Pride Month. Happy Pride Month to all our veterans and mental health warriors out there. But I just don't get why they need a month. Rob Schneider said it best. A whole month? People who founded the country get a day. And not even that, they get half a day.
There's this person that I follow on TikTok who is a lesbian woman. And somebody asked her something about pride, and she was like, not to take away from their stuff and whatnot, but she was like, I asked for equality, not superiority. Yeah. And it's just weird to me seeing kids out there interested in the dildo that some man has pinned to his forehead like he's a unicorn. That's not for me.
It's so crazy that we have children's games now that are advertising more children games inside their little purchase area. And so you're like, okay, this is a kid's game it says E for everyone. In the first purchase game, it's like, okay, I am cat, I am security. And then it goes to I am security. And it's like, okay, it's like 12. And then they're picking up dildos off of people. They're picking up condoms and sex toys and drugs.
That's the ad inside of a child game?
No, it's in the game because we ended up buying that one thinking it was just like I am cat because it's the same provider, publisher, different rating, but not for a 12-year-old. You're not looking at vibrators, dildos, and contraceptives.
Right.
So it's gotten out of hand.
It's escalated.
It escalated crazily. But, that's the way the world is now. So it's gone from LGBT to LGBTQIA plus 2 SS apostrophe. Yeah. It's a lot.
What do the digits got to do with this?
I have no fucking clue, nor do I care. You want to be whatever you are, cool. I don't have to identify you. I just don't care that by the track that we're on, this is like the government's deficit. It will only get more and greater. We do not have enough digits to sustain the growth that this madness is going.
Now, question on the humor side of this. Can I now identify as a church and be exempt from taxes?
Technically, it's going that way if you want to be an inanimate object, but then you have to pose as one, so people have to come in you.
My body is a temple, right?
You have to allow people in for donations.
No.
Get paid, get laid.
Is that what that chick with 1,000 dudes is doing?
Probably. It's all tax. It's a 501c.
Rock on.
They are. But up until recently, regardless of all the pride stuff, Donald Trump, our Lord and Savior, took a bullet for this country.
Oh my gosh.
I supported him trying to do the same thing he did in 2016. He was like, clean out the swamp, cut back the bullshit. I now know the job. I'm going to do what I'm promising. I've only got 4 years, so we're going to go in hard. We're going to clean it out fast. Government efficiency. That was the main thing I voted for. The Department of Government Efficiency. Take it back. Give me my shekels back. We pay a lot in taxes. If you didn't know, we're business owners. We don't get a lot of exemptions. We have some child tax credits for
barely.
Yeah, but years that we make money, we pay a lot in taxes. And boy, it doesn't feel good knowing that there are people who pay $0 in taxes and get government subsidies all year and then get refund checks like
Yeah, I had a cousin that's got like a handful of kids, and she got $14,000 back one year.
Yeah, and every year I hear it from you. Nice. Like, if I was alone with one kid, I would only have this much. And I'm like,
I just crunch my numbers first when I do taxes because mine's more straight to the point than worrying about the business taxes. That takes for me, it's 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then, so I just knock that out, move on to the business.
Month that you're doing them is our business taxes and mine.
Yeah. It's a mess.
She has many hats. Many, many hats. So I voted on it, and I was like, he's going to get in there. He's going to do his job. He has 180 days because he's not technically elected. It's going to be great. Lo and behold, he gets brutalized in the media. If you weren't aware, Elon Musk, up until December 11th last year, was
2024.
Yeah, 2024 was God's gift to man.
Was he?
Yeah, even his stock price was well over $400. Tesla.
I don't follow him heavy enough, so I'll take your word for it.
Everything he touched turned to gold. He was
Midas.
Absolutely. After December 11th-ish, stocks tanked, giving away money. It came out how much he was spending on the campaign, and now he is the devil incarnate.
Is that going back to like when the election results came in and things?
This is post-election.
Yeah. So...
Yeah. Before the transition.
Why December 11th specifically? Was that
something about another election he was in and offering $1 million bounties to people who were getting other people to vote, and it just triggered a lot of people. So they started, he's the Nazi. That's the idea. He is the one who is trying to buy the government. And I saw it as a man who's like, well, I got the money to spend and I can't take it with me. And I believe in this thing, so I'm going to throw the kitchen sink at it. Like he does everything. He spent $50 billion on Twitter. He brought a kitchen sink in it. You know, like he was like, all right.
$1 billion with a B for Twitter?
Yeah.
Wow.
He was forced to by the courts, even though it was overvalued. And he found that out afterwards. But, you know, so I've tracked Elon Musk a bit. I've made some money because of Elon Musk. I've invested in Tesla and I own a Tesla. And I seem to like the way that he does business. So I was like, okay. Donald Trump is picking Elon Musk to do the heavy lifting. He's going to be the face. He'll take the brunt of the damage. The fallout will be on Elon Musk. And he took it. He took it like a champ, like just getting pounded in the media day in, day out. Even when he had his son in the Oval Office, they called him a drug addict, that he was on ketamine or on a come down, that he was slurring his, you know, they just tried to trash him every day in the media.
You speaking this way, it kind of gives weight to how the Dems were going on about, well, I didn't vote for Elon Musk. And now, because Elon Musk has changed his opinion, as have you?
No, it's the reaction to it.
Okay. So
I was already falling out from Trump because...
Okay. So it's just the way the cookie is crumbling with that.
And I don't think I'm alone. Yeah. There are 77 million votes. And I'm telling you, it is
I've heard that there's
1%.
There's a lot of static in the air about people, I guess, regretting.
Yeah, well, I would say, because they say he's down like 50% in the polls, his popularity, whatever. So even if we say conservatively 10% of his base is now against him, and then post this incident, say another 10%, that is freaking almost 20 million people. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Swaying their
My
vote.
sister asked me a couple weeks ago how I felt if I still felt confident in my vote. Now, granted, this was a couple weeks ago before everything else started to come to the light, so to say. And at that point, I was like, I went on my little tangent about X, Y, and Z things. And I was like, but at the end of the day, I still wouldn't have voted for Harris. So would I have voted for Trump? Maybe, maybe not, but I would have either not voted at all or voted for him. So she still wasn't getting the vote, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So it comes down to, I don't want to get this wrong, but, you know, he's leaving the government efficiency and he's like, you know what, I'm going to get back to my businesses. This is already now in almost June. I think it was end of May that this was announced. We knew he was leaving. He wasn't getting voted into some office because he is a billionaire. He doesn't need to be in the White House. He's got more money than Trump. He's got more responsibilities than Trump. Like before the White House, of course. I know Trump has got his responsibilities.
So when their little breakup, divorce started to occur, my first thought was that it was for show and that Elon was doing this to distance himself to protect his company and his assets.
So the way this played out, he's leaving Doge, right? And it seems amicable. Everything, it's buddy. You know, he's got his own stuff and he's well respected and, you know, he's on the uptick on popularity. Trump is doing his own thing. This big, beautiful bill is coming out soon. And it seems like everyone voted for it, passed it, and all was calm in the water. Musk is out. Big, beautiful bill passes, which is 1,116 pages.
Yeah, I read it.
Yeah. And it's not big and beautiful. It is big and scummy. There are a modicum of things you could remove from that and nobody would even know the difference.
Right.
But Elon has come out swinging for the fences that this thing is going to cause massive damage in the next 6 months. I am not a bill guy. I do not know the economy as well as Elon Musk. But what I do know is everything he has told us thus far has come to fruition. So I'd rather err on the side of caution and be like, maybe we should take a second look at this, because now senators and Republicans and Democrats are all coming out saying, hey, listen, I didn't read it. Marjorie Taylor Greene came out and was like, well, listen, I voted on it. I didn't really read it. I'm sorry. There's a lot of things in here I don't like. Holy shit. Marjorie Taylor Greene is a crazy person, but at least she's being honest. Like, oh, I didn't read it and I voted for it because Daddy Trump. And I get everyone wants to like vote his first real bill through. There's very minor cuts. They're adding nearly $4 trillion to the deficit with this one bill. Minor cuts. Major recession.
So I could see some of that as someone who's read the bill. There are obviously things that are like still outside of my realm of knowledge. Like I know the bill starts with speaking about agriculture and IRS codes as far as those workers are concerned. So I don't have a grasp of where that sits now to know if that bill actually does them any good. And then again, with the military, same thing. I don't know what military budgets look like at this point to know if which way that's swinging as far as what he has for the military in there. I can say that he did have some pretty good tax deals in there for families and growing families. So taxes looked good there. Medicare, let me start with Medicaid. Medicaid, he did what he said he was going to do as far as restricting illegals are getting cut out of that. He's doing things with the budget. I don't work so much with Medicaid, so I'm kind of fuzzy there, but that looks good otherwise. Medicare, which I specialize in, is going to be an outright headache. An outright headache.
Absolutely.
Oh, I can't wait till I hear what my bigwigs have to say about this.
Well, apparently it's going to throw a wrench into it. And then...
Well, so with Medicare, CMS, which is the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, they audit the insurance plans every 2 years. We get an audit where we have to pull X amount of claims. They look at it, they judge us, they make sure things are paying, rejecting correctly. But they tear us up, right? And that's once every 2 years. So in this bill, every plan, so like my company, we work over 40 plans for different states, so 40 different Medicare plans. So that's Medicare Advantage, that's PDP, XYZ, blah, blah, blah. Those specific plans for each state would have to audit us once a year. And we would have 6 months to respond. So if all 40 of them hit us at one time and we had 66 months to respond, we're at the half year mark. Now we've turned in our answers. And then in the 6 months again, because now it's a new year from when they originally asked, we're audited again. So now, even if it was like 20 plans at the first of the year, 20 plans in the half of the year, it's just a vicious cycle. And then you got CMS coming in every 2 years.
This is just one part of this BBB, Big Beautiful Bill.
One part. That's just Medicare, which was only a couple of pages out of the 1,166 pages.
So just for grasp, 1,116 pages.
Yeah.
Crazy. Only 2 pages caused that much drama for billion-dollar corporations. Could you imagine what they've slipped in for you? Read it. There is something for every single one of you. So then I started getting discouraged. I'm like, okay, so Trump's trying to Trump's trying to discourage his voters from something. He wouldn't just pull the wool over your eyes and then like, you know what? Hey, wrong hole. Like that's what it feels like. This feels like absolutely a 180. And he was like, oh, I know my way around things. Whoopsie. But he's still trying to tell us this is the greatest thing he's ever done for America.
Well, the thing that's really shisty about that is I think the average American that has like the novice understanding of politics, we already hate when they pass a bill that's on more than one topic. Mm-hmm. Or like they'll say the bill is about food stamps, but then there's like a paragraph in there that has nothing to do with food stamps at all.
That's how a lot of the United, what do they call it? The USAID got funding, as they would put it in with other bills and other like helpful measures.
The U.S. government is popular for doing that. It's called a rider when they put something off top. Like this bill has to pass for the main topic, and then they'll slide something in just because they want it. And they're like, well, this bill needs to pass because X, Y, and Z has to be done. But there's this freaking paragraph of crap in here. So push it through.
Yesterday, I started freaking out because everyone on Twitter is freaking out. I'm like, hold on. What do you mean Elon Musk is exposing Donald Trump? Because I heard about it at the moment of the Epstein files. And I didn't realize it. Because... I
think I brought that to your attention. I was like, looky.
Oh, no, I had heard it before that, but that was when I started reading into it. And then I was like, I don't think that's true because everyone was already talking about it. I didn't see it on his timeline. I went straight to the source and started reading upwards, which can be a bit difficult. The first thing I saw was somebody named Grums saying, I don't understand the logic of not pushing back on this new bill. What would be the downsides when the cost of letting it pass is so high? Elon Musk says exactly. So then there's a bunch of Starlink stuff and gigafactories, etc. Paperwork retirement process from Department of Government Efficiency from one day ago. And then a bunch of posts on him agreeing or commenting on interviews. It gets into the majority Republican voters strongly agree with Elon and want the BBB trimmed down. Yes, exactly. And then Donald Trump says, I cannot believe Republicans are extending the debt ceiling. I am Republican and I am embarrassed. Wise words, he says. This is from 1/23/13. So he's throwing out
2013?
Yeah, 2013.
Oh, wow.
So he's bringing up his old tweets, and he's from 7/31/12. Donald Trump said, no member of Congress should be eligible for re-election if our country's budget is not balanced. Deficits not allowed. I couldn't agree more. Slim, beautiful bill for the win. And so Doge, Democrats are calling Trump's decision to end federal funding for California's high-speed rail project heartless. With just 35 years left to complete, the project was so close to completion you could almost imagine your grandchildren riding the rails. So good news is they won't have anything to tear down. And he says, sensible move by President real Donald Trump. Keep the good, remove the bad, replying to himself. So Donald Trump, in one of these, had posted that he was removing the EV credits, and that Elon Musk was mad because they got into a tiff back and forth. He was on video saying this, and it's not on the clip here, but Donald Trump said, well, as he was leaving, he knew that we were going to remove these EV credits the whole time. I told him this, and he just went crazy. And so Elon Musk, replied saying, whatever, keep the EV solar incentives, cut the bill, even though no oil and gas subsidies are touched. Very unfair. He does put an exclamation point, 2 of them, very unfair, but ditch the mountain of disgusting pork in the bill. The entire history of civilization has never been legislation that is both big and beautiful. Everyone knows this. Either you get big and ugly bill or slim and beautiful bill. Slim is the way. And if you go to the X post, this is the video.
Nobody's ever seen anything like it. And, Elon's upset because we took the EV mandate and, which was a lot of money for electric vehicles. And, they're having a hard time, the electric vehicles. And they want us to pay billions of dollars in subsidy. Elon knew this from the beginning. He knew it for a long time ago. That's been
I can't hear that very well.
I would say,
I don't know if he'll be able
JD,
to.
that hasn't changed. That's been right from the beginning, Mr. Secretary. That hasn't changed at all, right from the beginning. But I know that disturbed him. All of the things that we're doing.
So then I start going back, and it's
but if they picked him,
constantly-
I would have won Pennsylvania. I won it by a lot. But I'm very disappointed because Elon knew the inner workings of this bill better than almost anybody sitting here, better than you people. He knew everything about it. He had no problem with it. All of a sudden he had a problem, and he only developed the problem when he found out that we're going to have to cut the EV mandate, because that's billions and billions of dollars, and it really is unfair. We want to have cars of all types. Electric, we want to have electric, but we want to have a gasoline, combustion. We want to have different. We want to have hybrids. We want to have we want to be able to sell everything. And when that was cut, and Congress wanted to cut it, he became a little bit different, and I can understand that. But he knew every aspect of this bill. He knew it better than almost anybody, and he never had a problem until right after he left. And if you saw the statements he made about me, which I'm sure you can get very easily, it's very fresh on tape. He said the most beautiful things about me, and he hasn't said bad about me personally, but I'm sure that'll be next. But I'm very disappointed in Elon. I've helped Elon a lot.
So
do you think that there is progress being made in the
So he replied in this tweet saying, false. The bill was never shown to me even once it passed in the dead of night, so fast that almost no one in Congress could even read it, which is true. And Congress people have come out, and congressmen, congresswomen have come out and said,
confirmed.
yeah, that's true. So he's just replying to all of these government America. Basically, Autism Capital said Elon continues to mount the high school pressure campaign. And that's him replying to all the old tweets. And then there's the giant page of all the posts I had shown you previously, and I'll put this up on screen, of all Donald Trump's old tweets about the balanced budgets. Can't believe Republicans extending the ceiling. Balanced budgets. Debt another 1.2 trillion. Barack Obama this. China's military that. Scary Obama Democrats. Debt ceiling. More debt deal. 17 national debt. Congress, failure to pay the balanced budget, etc. And what the, national debt surpasses 375 billion per year, blah, blah, blah. But all of these posts coming from, where is this guy today, Elon Musk, saying that he was championing these things 10 years ago, 5 years ago, even 2 years ago. And now I heard in that video him saying, well, he didn't like the EV cuts. I remember Elon Musk talking on tape saying, take all the subsidies out from all these bills, not even a year ago. And so sure enough.
Elon called yet? They said, no, sir. The next day, what about Elon? Did he call? He never
This is
even
when he
mentioned it
ended
to
the
me, never
mandates.
complained. Until this moment, I'm just bringing it up. Who would do that? Yeah. He has never asked me for a thing. And he's built this great company, and he shouldn't be penalized because he's a patriot. He's an incredible patriot. And I don't even know if he's a Republican. I really don't.
Mr. President.
That's I ended the EV mandate. He never even complained to me. Who would do that? Yeah. And then Elon Musk says, remember this? So then the very next post he made yesterday was, I've been very consistent just stating the facts. And this is in 2021, like I was saying.
Difference in the federal budget deficit is insane. It's like $3 trillion. Federal expenditures are $7 trillion. Federal revenue is $4 trillion. That's a $3 trillion difference in, if this was a company, it'd be a $3 trillion loss. So I don't know if we should be adding to that loss. That seems pretty crazy. Something's got to give. You can't just spend $3 trillion more than you own every year and expect don't expect something bad to happen. I think this is not good. The deficit is more than $3 trillion when you look at the future obligations. So it's $7 trillion of current expenditures, but it's much more than that if you look at future obligations for Social Security, Medicare, and so forth. So we're running this incredible deficit. Someone's got to give. I don't know.
Big bill.
This can't keep going.
Back to the bill for just a second. I didn't lock in this information because personally I've been told my whole life that by the time I'm able to retire, Social Security's gonna be gone anyways. I've heard that all 30 some odd years of my life. So I looked at Social Security and in the big beautiful bill thing. I did not like it, but I just kind of skimmed over it because is it going to matter when I need it, but it's not good for them either. I remember thinking, wow, that's not great.
I would say, honestly, I would just can this whole bill. Don't pass it. That's my recommendation.
What about the support though for the charging network? I mean, there are parts of this bill and no.
I mean, do we need support for gas stations? We don't. So there's no need for this for support for a charging network. I would delete it. Delete.
So all of them, just get rid of them.
Yeah.
And that's what he's been saying this whole time. So I thought it was hilarious. He just keeps posting a lot of these things about it. The idea is he hates that this is going back and forth and Donald Trump is not sticking to his promise of like cutting the fat.
Right.
He's just adding to the fat. So people are voting on it. He's saying all this shit about people in the past. But the thing that really dropped everyone's jaws, he said yesterday, time to drop the really big bomb. At real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That's the reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, Donald J. Trump. Whew. Damn. So the rest of it is just bullshit. Doesn't really matter. Trump's tariffs will cause a recession half the year. But from there, the thing, at this point, I'm already on Elon's side. Because I remember what Elon said more than I remember what Trump said. And I think I'm just a fan of Elon, wanting to do better with our government as a patriot, the same way that
You've had a little bromance with him for a while.
Well, I feel like he's right. I really feel like he's right.
He's made a lot of the right moves as far as...
His recommendations are things that I would do. If I had that type of influence and power, I'd be like, yeah, stop fucking spending. Okay, you need money, here you go. Okay, now do something popular. He does a lot of like the right thing at the right time, even if it's at his own cost. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He's damned himself. So I'm an Elon fan, absolutely. And Donald Trump he's in the wrong on this. He needs to cut the fat, the pork off of this bill. I don't think they're going to kill the bill, but they need to cut it. And him playing this game like he never said any of this stuff and making this shit up like it's some like he's got some press people behind him, or what do they call that? Like somebody who's saying it. I know he texts and does his own
like a puppeteer
Twitter,
type deal.
Publicity, like a puppeteer. Why does that kind of go together? Puppeteer and publicity. A person in publicity that's like, okay, say this about Elon. This will damage him. And it's just doing the opposite. It's the Streisand effect. Every time DJT opens his mouth or tweets or truths, it's some bold-faced lie that they're like, receipts, you need that? It's on file. Like, really? Like, Elon's a crazy one. He's like, if I was Elon, I wouldn't be like, oh, let me help. If I'm Donald Trump, I need the billionaire for the image. I need the guy who's like, okay, I'm going to put my own money into this, so I don't have to convince anybody. I don't think Trump is the one who's...
You think Elon made or braked his election this time around?
Yeah.
Because he wasn't nowhere to be found for Trump last time.
Elon, it's funny. Donald Trump tried to come out and say he would have won it without Elon. Out of nowhere. Elon had not said anything about the election. And sure as shit, his big mouth. So Donald Trump is trying to cancel his contracts, which got deleted from Twitter, which is funny. In light of President's statement about cancellation of my government contracts at SpaceX, will begin decommissioning Dragon spacecraft immediately. which, is a multi-billion-dollar deal. And that's what services a space station or would, which was hilarious.
For a man who makes as much money as Elon, he should be on the internet a lot.
Yeah, but he probably has somebody doing it. Basically, what Elon had said in a reply to Donald Trump, saying that he would have won with or without Elon, like it was a landslide anyway. He spent over $200 million to win him that election. And without him, he was the single swinger that really pushed people like me over the edge, because I really thought he was too old. Like, sure, he's keeping up with family and whatnot, but he was already as old as Biden.
I'd like to see somebody who's barely old enough to run for presidency.
I would love that. Somebody energetic enough, like, there's a
Young
movie
blood.
coming out on Prime where John Cena is our president. I'm just saying, he's 40-something years old. I would like to see somebody of that age that is wise enough, not an 80-year-old man who's trying to up his family's legacy. Because that's what it feels like to me now. Like, all of this feels like the wool over your eyes. I'm not saying I'll never support Trump's decisions again. I just do not support him right now, how he's trying to backstab someone who's telling the truth about something someone is doing bad. Because if this was a family member making a bad decision, I would speak out about it, speak against it. I would try and go to them. And if that doesn't go, I've gone to Facebook, I've gone to social media before and been like, hey, this is a bad idea.
So Elon Musk had reposted someone's screenshot of what you were looking for. I sent it to you.
Yes. Such ingratitude. Without me, Trump would have lost the election. Dems would control the House. Republicans would be 51-49 in the Senate. So that's been removed. But yeah.
Well, he reposted somebody else's screenshot, but yeah.
So the repost is gone. So with all that craziness, I'm saying that we should edit the U.S. citizenship to be president, and Donald Trump and Elon Musk should go for 2026. Or sorry, 2028. Elon Musk and Donald Trump 2028.
You cutting them out already?
Yeah, I'm just saying Donald Trump and Elon Musk run for presidency in 2028.
I don't know about that. I mean, that might be good for one round, but that could...
Could you imagine if Elon was president, though?
Could you imagine that, like, the next time after that, it would be somebody who's never stepped foot in America running for president? You'd have somebody in Ireland.
If it's another billionaire who doesn't step foot in America, I'm going to be very pissed. The only reason Donald Trump does is because he bought that freaking golf course for super cheap, so he lives there. If he didn't buy that for so cheap, I guarantee you all he would not live in America.
I could just see somebody from Ireland, some just regular schmegular person is like, yeah, let me run your U.S. politics for you. Never been there, but I'm willing to come visit.
Well, with all the drop about the Epstein files.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump being like the center of attention on this.
Mm-hmm.
Today it's trending that Kash Patel, our Lord and Savior for the FBI, and he got handpicked after all kinds of social media stuff and being like front man and center and helping Trump previously, but he was the conspiracy guy on the internet.
Yeah, to stop comparing these regular dudes to our Lord and Savior.
No, not mine. Just like they call him like he's the guy. And he was supposed to release all the files and be like, I'm going to get it for you. This is why I'm put here. And I'm going to get to the truth. And it's been over 100 days. Mm-hmm. And we still don't have the truth. And now they're all coming out saying Epstein just unalived himself. And it's undeniable fact. That's the word I'm looking for. Undeniable fact. I've seen it. I know it. I'm expertise in this. He could have not been murdered whatsoever. So everyone's trending that he's now, gotten this higher up position and he's sold out. And I'm of the mind to say, after all his talking that this was an inside job, all of a sudden,
pay the business that pays your bills.
Yeah. But, so he's said that basically they're going to release what they can. Not all of it, what they can. And he can't talk about anything in specifics. And I'm not going to put Joe Rogan's podcast on here, but thanks, Joe. They're going to release what they can, when they can, how they can. They're combing through it all now. But there is security evidence and video. Even though the cameras went down and everything was deleted, they recovered a bunch. And they've had it, and they didn't know the stories about the other autopsies. Really has no idea about any other information except for what's in the FBI, even though before he was in the FBI, he had all the information.
So
and he tracked it.
we have to wait for the Clintons to pass before they'll release.
That's exactly what I thought. I was like, when somebody hit her with COVID or like pneumonia or something, and then
Nah, you got both of them have got to go. They wouldn't do that to Bill either.
If she dies, he dies. I'm just saying this. There would be heartbroken syndrome immediately because he'd be like, she stuck me through it all.
He'd be in them streets.
I don't think so. You see what he looks like now? He looks like Skeletor.
Yeah, he is kind of. He's at the end of the rope there.
His 11s are sticking.
No pun intended.
I mean, 11s. So, and then I saw Charlie Kirk posted 10 hours ago. One on Earth. FBI Director Kash Patel tells Joe Rogan that his house just got swatted. Patel, my house got swatted yesterday.
Hold on.
Joe Rogan. The head of the FBI gets swatted? Patel. Yeah, it's the ultimate height of hypocrisy. We have 2 sets of rules. One against you and one for them. Bitch, what? You're the head of the FBI.
Your own men came swinging at your door?
That's local law enforcement. But they should know that you're the head of the FBI. You know what I mean? It's not like you have a private residence.
So they're hiring. Now is the time for me to go check out careers.
Yeah, exactly. Because like if the FBI director can get swatted, that means he's not very good at his job. And like if I was in the government like that, I would make sure that I go around and notify everyone, hey, I'm a public figure, just in case this happens. He's on social media. He does all kinds of interviews, etc. The first thing I would do, like the most insane thing for a lot of these streamers and people, is swatting.
Oh, it's the local police department.
Yeah, your local police PD department. You need to notify that, hey, here we are. Here's my information. Sometimes I'll have you verify. And that way, you know, you don't have these random calls, or they'll call you first.
I just still think that that's weird to me because granted, I'm not in law enforcement, but I know as a little guy who all of my superiors are, right? And these are people that if my field wasn't my field, I couldn't pick them out of a lineup otherwise, right? Mm-hmm. But they're my superiors. I know who they are. And given that, I know who my CEO answers to. So how, as a police officer, do you not know
who Kash Patel is? Yeah.
Right.
And I know they do, but you know, I wonder what happened in that once we get body cam footage.
I wonder if they had a real cause.
Well, they probably said he was beating his wife, kidnapping, guns are out, the whole 9. They don't get swatted for no reason. There is an immediate threat to life with swatting. Like they come in, kick the door, no warrant, no nothing, just like.
Not when it's their own men, though.
Yeah, but they don't know that because apparently he's not giving that information. So something else he said on the podcast, which was funny, and I saw it on Twitter, because I watched a few clips on the way home because I drive an hour and a half each way to work each day. Thank you, America. Fauci's COVID-era phones and devices were just found after years of stonewalling. Kash Patel confirms the FBI is now combing through the hard drives to answer one question. Did the guy lie? Did he intentionally mislead the world and cause countless deaths? The best evidence is always people's evidence. Patel said, we're going to exploit those hard drives. We're not done. We're on the case. Trust the science. It's about to age like rotten milk.
I feel like I'm listening to the bridge to a Paw Patrol episode.
What?
We're on the case.
This week, as he says, even though he's currently working on all the Epstein files and it's his main priority, but this week he's going through all this stuff and it's now a priority. So he's got a lot of stuff going on.
But they had always been looking for.
Sorry.
Where is that podcast located?
YouTube, Spotify.
The physical location that Rogan is in. What state?
Oh, Texas.
He's smoking pot with the FBI director right there in Texas?
Well, he's not smoking pot. They're smoking cigars in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
They lit up like high-end cigars.
Okay.
Fauci's original phone, or not original, but phones and devices he used while he was Fauci back in Trump 1 during COVID. And nobody had found it till 2 days ago.
Really?
Yeah. Now look, your audience and everything.
That he used while he was Fauci. Who is he today?
Bullshit. Is
he on the run? Where is Fauci?
Hold on. One of two things happen. Nobody served this man a warrant. this entire time. Or somebody sat on that phone and it has been 5 years of just somebody messing around with the data. There's no way you're finding evidence 5 years later of a crime.
Hillary's emails.
And you can't find Hillary's emails. Come on. You can't tell me that all of a sudden you got video evidence that Epstein killed himself and Fauci, criminal evidence that was firsthand accounts of everything. And it just kind of fell into your lap, Patel.
All of a sudden.
And Epstein wasn't killed.
Yeah, right.
Oh.
You can't even show me a video at this point the way AI be AI.
That's exactly what Rogan said. And he was like, you know what? I don't know why they don't kind of dumb it down to make it look like it's rough. And he's like, oh, they do. And I'm like, I wouldn't believe it either way. And then Rogan said the same thing. He's like, yeah, I probably wouldn't believe it either way. I almost like Patel was talking him into like, oh, it's going to be fine. Either way, you're not going to believe me, but you'll believe me, right? But, there's so much going on. It's been so long. It's not like why would I lie about this? I'm the guy. Like, Patel,
you got a contact.
You're not making yourself look good on this one. Really not. Everything you said sounded like, well, listen, my president said that this is the best thing for me to do. And I'm not at liberty to help you help me to help them without me getting financial compensation. And that's where I'm going to leave it today. Anything you would like to add?
No, didn't even make sense. My mind isn't calculating anymore.
If you know of a way, or like a 1-800 number, a support line to help me regain my trust in Trump, leave it in the comments below and share with your friends. Let them know how wrong or right I am. If you're on the fence, jump. We'll see you next week on During Business Hours.